Hi everyone and welcome back to Next Diecast. For today's video I'll be showing you and reviewing this 1/18 scale Maisto Dodge concept vehicle. So this is quite an interesting model from Maisto. It's no longer being made, but they made it from 1997 when this concept car actually came out until I think 2007 or so. But I actually found this on Amazon.com, where I think there's actually a couple more that are currently listed for sale. But this was actually under $30 in total, including shipping and everything. So I'd say that was a great deal. And you can find this cheaply on like sites such as eBay and whatnot. There's actually a lot on there, both the 1/24 scale version and this 1/18 scale version. So this concept vehicle came out in 1997 as the Dodge Copperhead concept. They literally just called it the concept vehicle because it's some kind of like copyright thing with the Copperhead name. I actually really like the overall look of the concept vehicle. It kind of looks like a Hot Wheels car. There were a lot of concept cars from the 1990s made by Chrysler, Dodge, and Plymouth. It looked a bit unusual and everything, but in a cool way. So the real Copperhead concept was in the Walter P. Chrysler Museum for many years until the museum closed in 2016. But Chrysler still has the car. They bring it out for like special events and whatnot. But I think it's a pretty cool concept car overall. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the details of this Maisto model here. We'll start up here with the front of the car. I'd say Maisto did a great job overall with these lights here. There's actually no pegs in them, which is surprising because a lot of their older models from the 90s do have the pegs in them. But they don't. They have nice clear eye lenses, and you can see that they actually painted the lights silver. Kind of looks like they're turned on a little bit too. And these little turn signals here, they're actually separate pieces too, instead of just being like painted on and whatnot. The center badge on here looks really cool. It actually has like a snake on it, almost like the Dodge like Viper badge, but it looks pretty cool. And this whole front piece here is actually made of plastic. It's hard to tell in this lighting, but in certain other lighting, you can actually tell the difference, which is a bit annoying. But a lot of Maisto's older models, they have you can kind of tell if there's plastic on them because they'll have like a slightly darker color of the paint than the rest of the car. These lower grills you see down here, they're actually hollowed out, which is nice to see. The paint quality on this model is okay at best. You can see there's some orange peel here, there's some back here, there's a little bit on the hood. But a lot of Maisto's models from the 90s kind of have that issue. But from a far distance and from like certain angles, you can't really see the defects from certain angles or in certain lighting. But overall, they nailed the color of the car. So taking a look at the side of the model, we'll take a look at the wheels. I say Maisto did a really nice job with the overall shape and look of the rims. They're just like the rims on the real concept car. They actually put Goodyear tires on here too. It's kind of hard to say, but you can see right there, Goodyear Eagle. There are brake discs, and they do actually move with the wheels, but there aren't any calipers. A lot of Maisto's earlier models, they have the moving discs, but they don't include the calipers. And as you just saw, you of course get full steering with this model and full suspension as well. There's a little bit there. It's better at the front than it is in the back on this model. The side mirrors were done in separate pieces of plastic, but they're nice and sturdy and everything, so they're not going to like fall off or anything like that. The windshield is also plastic as well, and it's a bit thin, so I would not like hold the car by the windshield because it'll risk like breaking it off and whatnot. Taking a look at the back of the model, I'd say Maisto did a great job with these taillights here. And yes, that is actually a taillight on the back here as well. Again, just like the front, these don't have any pegs in them, which is kind of a nice like surprise and everything. And also the turn signals are separate pieces too. These lower lights down here. You can see the badges back here look good as well. It says Dodge and then Copperhead back here. The exhaust pipes do look a bit cheap though, and this one is actually slightly lower than this one, so it looks a bit off, but not a big deal. You can always just color in the middle with like a black marker to make it look like it's hollow. And again, back here, it is plastic and you can kind of tell, but in certain lighting, you can't really tell. It's just because I have the light like kind of shining directly on it that you can tell it's made of plastic. In terms of opening features, we'll start back here with the trunk that opens up like so. The really cool thing about this trunk is that Maisto actually put in like the folded down roof. Of course, the roof doesn't actually fold up on this model, but Maisto actually put this extra little like detail in here. It has like the wrinkles in it and everything, like just like the real top would have if it were folded down. But that's pretty much it. The rest of the trunk has a nice texture in it and everything, but the main, I guess, feature in there is the folded back top. And the underside of this doesn't really have much on there. It's just underspray, like orange We'll go ahead and close that up. But the panel gaps are actually very good on this model. Like there's no big gaps like in between this little deck lid and the body, and same thing with the doors and stuff too, which is nice to see. So taking a look at the engine here, first of all, I forgot to mention that these vents are actually functional. You can actually see into the engine. I think that's a cool feature. We'll go ahead and open up this engine cover here, or open up the hood here. I say Maisto did an excellent job with the engine here. It's made up of multiple pieces, as you can see here. You can see all like the wires and hoses and whatnot. They just did a really nice job overall. There's actually a chrome like vent piece on top of the main block there. And you also get a prop rod to hold up the hood too, which just kind of mounts in place inside of the vent there. But yeah, this is definitely one of Maisto's better engines that I've seen. You can actually see all the way down to the bottom of the car as well. On most of Maisto's new models, they'll actually paint the whole underside of the hood the same color as the car, or if they don't do that, they'll put a plastic liner. But on here, it's just like bare metal. It doesn't look that great, but again, you're mostly looking at the engine, so you don't really look at the underside of the hood anyway. But a cool thing is that this hood actually does clip shut. You can see there's two little pegs here, and there's two little holes next to the windshield, so you just kind of close it, and then it clicks into place. All right, taking a look at the interior of the model, Maisto did an excellent job overall. Let's look at the door panels first. One thing you'll notice is that there's actually a little bit of a side window poking out here. That's a really, really cool like little touch there, because on the real car, the windows actually don't roll all the way down. They actually poke out just a little bit. So Maisto actually went to the trouble of putting in that separate little plastic piece in there, which I think is really, really cool. And the rest of the door panels themselves, they look fairly well done. They have a nice kind of like leather pattern on them. You can see it's got the two-tone kind of gray and orange to match the rest of the interior. And the handles are painted in silver, as you can see here. There's a better view of that side window there. It kind of pokes out in between the metal and the plastic, which is really, really cool. I never saw that before. I didn't actually notice that until I got the model. So the seats are very well done as well. They actually fold a little bit, and they have a nice kind of texture to them, and they're shaped and colored just like the seats on the real car. And taking a look at the center console, Maisto also did a very nice detailed job with this. You can see all the buttons are on there. They're not necessarily labeled or anything, but they are the right shape and everything. And this radio actually does have a clock and like a radio station on it, so that's a cool little touch there. And the gauge cluster, all these are separate stickers for the gauges and everything, so that's also cool. And this orange piece is actually separate from the rest of the dashboard. Maisto didn't just like mold the whole thing and like paint it orange. They actually did a separate piece for this component, and also for like the radio dials and everything too. And the shifter, they did a nice job on that as well. It actually has like the shift pattern on it. It doesn't move or anything, of course, but it looks like it can because of the hole that's around it. And I like these little like kind of chrome pipes down here. That's another detail on the real concept car that I like, but they're also separate pieces too. Maisto also did a great job with the steering wheel. It's got like the silver in the center with the little like rivets and the Dodge badge in the center. I believe it's the same steering wheel that was used on the Dodge Viper. I don't know if it was used on the first generation Viper or like the 2003 to 06 Viper. I do know that in 2005, the Dodge actually made a Copperhead Edition of the Viper. So it came in this same like orange as the Copperhead concept did. So I think that's pretty cool. And the pedals down here, as you can see, they're done in a nice kind of shiny chrome to simulate the brushed aluminum that the real pedals will be made out of. So last but not least, taking a look at the undercarriage, Maisto actually did a pretty nice job with it here. You can see all of the exhaust pipes are done in chrome. There is some detailing like with the engine and everything that they actually did paint in silver, and there is some black plastic throughout as well. Not Maisto's best undercarriage, but definitely it's definitely good compared to the other undercarriages they've done on their more recent models. Overall, I'd say this is a very cool model to put on display, like especially if you have like Dodge Vipers or you collect supercars or concept cars and whatnot. And again, there's a lot that are listed on eBay for very like cheap prices, so it's very easy to come by for under $30. And as of now, I think there's some listed on Amazon too, so you'll probably be able to find them on there as well. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this review was helpful. And feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on the Dodge concept vehicle and this model by Maisto. Thanks for watching.